unfortunate. I think this is more than you can handle.
He sits on his ass all day.
Let's do this.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to episode 477 of the Overseas Connection podcast. Today is June 3rd. It's 2018. And we're a video game podcast. We're actually starting on time. Take that, Mark Wright. But yeah, so look, we get together on a weekly basis on twitch.tv/OC podcast, on mixer.com/OC podcast, on youtube.com/Overseas Connection podcast. And we talk up video games. We talk up life. Pretty much whatever strikes our fancy. So we'll be doing a lot of pre-E3 video game talk today. That is what's on tap, especially with news being a little on the lighter side. But before we dive into that, I should not be so rude. Let me introduce a bunch of people. So as I stated before, my name is Greg DeLacy, Murphy's Law on Xbox Live, OC_Murphy's Law on Twitter. Joining me today, the lovely Miss Nicole Radowski.
Hey, how's everybody?
Excellent, Nicole. Thank you for making the show. And last but certainly not least, getting the discs spinning up properly on time, Mr. Robin Tate. Right? Yep. It's a quaint, cozy show. So let's talk real quickly about our fallen comrades. Phil Olson basically couldn't be bothered because I believe birthday stuff was going on and work stuff was going on. And then, of course, we had Mr. Mark Wright, and he decided that he needed to take a vacation. I don't know. I mean, he acts like he's had some kind of stressful past year or something like that. But yeah, so he's off on a dog walking vacation. And then, Kim Woods, okay, she got sick. She's feeling crappy. But I mean, really, come on. But yeah. Oh, yeah. And Rich Webster. Yeah, Rich Webster, he said, I'll show up. And then suddenly, last moment, all we got was the notice, I'm fucked. I'm not sure quite what that meant. Yeah. But yeah, so, these are the diehards right here, right now. The three of us, the three amigos. I feel like I should be wearing. Yeah, Tres Amigos. I feel like I should be wearing a little Mexican sombrero.
We should be eating chips and salsa and drinking margaritas.
That sounds lovely. That does sound good. Right? Yeah. All right. Well, let's do some birthday shout outs real quickly before we get too far ahead of ourselves with celebration and so forth. Let's see. We've got Paul Barry Hicken, also known as @Daddy Hicken. He is celebrating his birthday as of yesterday. So we're well late on that, but happy birthday nonetheless. We also have Matthew, and I'm just going to say bolognese sauce, but it's Bolzanello, I believe is how you actually pronounce it. Mr. Miyagi, 1984, but I'm just going to go with Matthew Bolognese sauce. Happy birthday to you. June 9th will be your birthday, just in time for E3. That's a lovely, lovely birthday present right there. You get the EA press conference as a birthday gift. Congrats to you. All right. Anything else we need to cover before we just dive into some story time? Right. Okay. Did we have a jingle for this? That was actually my cue for you. That was the well-oiled machine. It was it was allowing you to lead us right into.
Our favorite time of the day.
A well-oiled machine we are. All right, let's do some story time. Robin, well, actually, the three of us, we've been talking a lot of health, right? We've been talking about healthy habits this past week, and I didn't quite live up to the healthy habits last night. Well, actually, all day yesterday. So it started off. There's a therapeutic horse ranch. It's called Ride to Walk. Basically, what it's about is it's taking special needs kids and it's bonding them with horses and teaching them how to ride horses. And in the therapy, the therapeutic part to it is that the physical therapists work with the kids, and in working with the kids and the horses, it actually helps the kids gain strength, not only from their core, but also there's a bond, if you will, between the horses and the kids in terms of the movement of the horses and how they walk. And it translates to a lot of these kids and helping them to walk. So we're obviously looking to get Colin involved in this to see if that might help him further his aspirations of walking on his own. But they had a big wine tasting and beer tasting event yesterday. And so it was going from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So we went out and we started wine tasting, as I'm prone to do. So we discovered a few different wineries that were more than happy to give us just more than a tasting. So it was a hot day. It was upwards in the high 90s, low 100s, I believe it hit at one point. But the latter half of the day really cooled off nicely. A nice breeze started to kick up. So it just was lovely. We were drinking wine just like you're doing now, Robin. But we drinking quite a bit of wine. And then we left there, came home. We had a babysitter come over. We got ready and we went out and met up with a bunch of friends to go karaoke singing. Oh, yeah. I don't karaoke sing. When I go to karaoke with friends, I drink. I'm a supporter, so I will cheer and clap and so that was my duty. And let me just say, I held up my end of the bargain. So a lot of vodka tonics all night long. That's my drink of choice these days. Yeah. So vodka, two cuts of lime, and some tonic to go with it. That's a good question. I just don't like to sing. I'm not very musically inclined to begin with. I'm not somebody that's super into music. So on top of all of that, I just prefer. I can dance, and I am happy to dance. I got out and I boogied down last night, but I just am not a singer. I've never been a singer. So yes, dancing. It's totally dad dancing. Absolutely dad dancing. Yeah, thanks. No. I cut some rug. I'm out there shaking my behind. I'm getting down. We were doing a little chubby checkers at one point, doing the little shimmy down to the floor, which my knees struggle with that. Right. I I don't quite go to that level, but there have been a few times where I'm pretty sure I've caught myself in the mirror and I've thought Elaine from Seinfeld. I don't know if you've ever seen the Seinfeld episode dancing, but yeah, she's got a little bit of the herky jerks, and so yeah, that probably sums up some of it. Yeah, but I'm so afraid to get out and dance, and dance I did for a little bit, but it was mostly drinking. It was mostly drinking, laughing with friends. It is a good hobby. It's a dangerous hobby at times, but it's a good hobby to have. But yeah, so that was kind of my Saturday. I mean, the entire day was spent drinking. Needless to say, I woke up this morning at 6 a.m. because of my son, extremely tired, wishing there were Sunday night. But yeah, no rest for the wicked, right? Yes. Right?
No, I didn't.
Right? No,
I will tell you though, when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, he got his 10,000. I'm like, don't ever friend Robin with his 100 and whatever when you were in Edinburgh. And I'm like, oh no, because you were getting over 100K a day. Yeah, you and my brother, and I don't know where the hell he's going to get all his steps, considering he's in an office for 8 to 12 hours, but whatevs. But you guys are usually neck and neck, so I like watching you. And then Jim gets, he cycles, and he'll do like 53 miles on the bike. So I'm watching all these these numbers, and I'm like, I'll be lucky to get 10,000, but I'm usually sitting in a classroom, and I try and walk around the classroom. And now that I'm doing summer camp, same thing, trying to walk around and get my steps in, but I have very low steps. Yeah. I have two furry ones and two non-furry ones. And my two, they're all lazy. They'd rather sit on the couch, all four of them.
Yeah. Burn the couch. That's it. Burn the couch.
It's brand new. Yep. Yeah, there's a bunch of us.
Yes, but it's a different.
It's a different dirty 30.
Right? No, it's great. It's good stuff. Now, so here's my. This is probably the advice you don't want to hear, and that is sit-ups don't really decrease your stomach size. They will help build your stomach muscles, But the problem is if you're not doing your cardio, and that really at the end of the day, it's the cardio that's key for burning away some of that fat around the belly. Without doing that, all you're going to do is build your muscles up underneath your fat you got. All right. Okay. Angry woman walk is good. That is good. Yes. Oh, let's call it what it is, Robin. I gave you a ration of shit over the past week or so, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did. I did. Right? Yeah. Yeah. A little bread at the tip. Yeah. Nicole, let that go. Let that go.
Yep.
Right. Good. Now, somebody you can reach out to for advice. Yes, but Mike Chin took up guitar. All right, never mind. Fuck that guy. All right.
He's like, screw that.
Yep.
And girls, my guitar's
girls.
not there. Because they didn't teach themselves to play more than one thing.
Right.
Dumbasses. We know.
You will get there. You will get there. Well, I want to hear happy birthday by the end of the year. I don't know. Something. Yeah.
Old
something.
Lang Syne
Yeah.
on New
There you go.
Year's.
How about some Led Zeppelin? Right. All right. All right. Dust in the wind. All right. Little Kansas. Ah. Oh, we will. I could not say that any better, Robin. She definitely is in the right place right now. If there is a home she could be in, your home is definitely the right place, right time.
Agreed.
Wow. I know you're just spinning the disc right now. So Nicole, she has been doing stuff. Nicole, let's talk about this fridge stuff. What's going on here?
Okay, so my Christmas present when I moved into this house from my father was a brand new fridge. I picked out this nice little inexpensive, and I do mean little, like apartment-sized fridge, and he comes up with this monster-ass stainless steel thing. and way out of. I was trying to be smart about it, and the fridge was great and all until the ice maker started leaking, and the water dispenser, everything tasted like swamp water or smelled like swamp water. It was gross.
Ooh.
And then they never put the handles on the doors right. So the one for the freezer, because I had a freezer drawer, like ripped out, bolts and all. So I was like super pissed. I had called the company we got it from, and they were like, it's a manufacturing problem. So I called the manufacturer, and they were like, no, you need to take it back to the store. Back and forth, back and forth. And then I just got frustrated and was like, all right, I'm just done. We'll just deal with whatever. So I bought ice, never used water. So I would buy water and ice, and then we would, or use the Brita filter thing. And then just have to use both your hands to open the drawer for the freezer. My friend said they were getting rid of their fridge for their old house that they just sold, which is right down the street. They have 2 houses in the same neighborhood, and they moved from one house to another in the same neighborhood. And she said that she was going to get rid of the fridge. I was like, I'll buy it. And she's like, okay, cool. So we went to go exchange that, not knowing what a pain in the butt it was going to be to get it out of her door. My door is a much wider door, and we had to take off her clear glass door, her storm door, her regular door. Just like the doors for the fridge. It was fun. Pretty much. And it ended up, we were thinking it was going to be maybe 30, 45 minutes. It ended up being like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
So, and all we were doing, we were borrowed a trailer from another friend, and her husband actually helped us do everything. Like, he unhooking all the water stuff and the tools and everything. So, and he is like a master at backing up with a truck with a trailer attached. I'm like, he's super country. Are you all right, Robin? You look stoned.
Yep.
So anyway, I need a fridge though, and I'm gonna throw the other one in the garage and use it for just water. For when the kids come in, and I hate the kids coming in and out of the house and bringing flies, so now they can just go in and out of the garage.
Okay. That's anytime you're moving big appliance, it never goes as you think it's going to go. I think that is a very safe assumption. It is always a little bit more challenging. You always think it's going to be super easy, and it just doesn't go the way you thought. Similar to things like, Restream chats. Sometimes they just don't go the way you think they're going to go. Right. Okay, so that's a bit of life, unless you have anything else you want to talk about, Nicole.
Well, I started working summer camp at the school. And I also started watching Grimm. Have y'all seen that series?
Yeah.
I never watched it before. It's on Prime Video, so I was like, oh, I'm bored. Let me start binge. It's actually really good.
Yes, yeah.
And the amount of German that I understand was astounding to me. My ex is German, so
Nicole, one more second.
Like, oh, I know what that is.
Sarah, can you hear me now? I think we may have not had me for the first part of the show, which is kind of groovy.
Yeah. No, probably made for better podcasts, actually, now that I think about it.
Oh, there you go. Thanks, Sarah. Okay, sorry. Grimm, talk to me a bit more about Grimm, please, because it's one of those things where I've never got to watch, so I'd be really interested to see it.
If you like that sci-fi fairy tale kind of stuff, it is interesting. If you ever watched Beauty and the Beast, that sci-fi series, was it sci-fi or the CW or whatever? It's basically instead of it being named after like the brothers Grimm, a Grimm is actually a type of person, and he's a hunter, and then he goes after characters that are from storybooks, like the werewolves and the vampires and mermaids and all this other stuff. But they all have different German names and all these explanations, and they throw a little history in there, like the reason this person was the type of dictator or king or queen or whatever that they were was because they were this type of creature. It's actually really kind of interesting. There's some grossness, but, you know, gotta have a little gore.
It gets a little gory, but so it's... I want to say it was like 6 or 7 seasons long. It had a pretty good run. Yeah, it had a pretty good run.
Yeah, I'm on 3. I like it.
It's good. It's good. It does take some of those crazy twists. And there's, you know, obviously with every show, there's good seasons, there's some bad seasons. And I don't even say they're bad seasons. They're just not as, say, epic as I think the first third was really good. And then the second third of the show, to me, those were kind of the 2 best sections. The middle, you could tell they were trying to find kind of their groove of where they wanted to really take the show. But no, it's good. We watched it all the way through from start to finish. So,
does it end well? That's all I need to know.
It ends.
Does it end with questions? I hate when they end with questions.
No, I think they answer the questions that are there at the time.
Okay.
Yeah. So I will leave it
at that. That's good. Yeah, because that's what I mean by end well.
Right.
Because I hate to watch a series and then be left with thousands of questions, like the Jericho series. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And they even brought it back to try and answer some questions, and it ended up making more questions. I'm like, oh, you assholes.
Yeah, I think there's nothing worse than getting into a series and then having it canceled before they're able to wrap up questions.
Yes.
Yeah. Or what's worse is video games that end on a cliffhanger. Hello to human. Yeah, thanks for that little cliffhanger. I've never been more depressed than the fact that they never made a second game to that, and that was one of the ultimate cliffhangers. Like, you know, you walk out, there's this gigantic Viking giant that you're getting ready to fight, and the game ends. And they never, ever did anything with it after that. It was toast. So, yeah, okay. All right. Well, that's a little bit of story time. Robin, real quickly, I think because you were muted, likely didn't get a chance to talk about your stuff. We didn't get a chance to talk about my stuff.
I'm going to do some magical editing in a little while, so don't you worry about it.
If you're watching the video feed, just know I drank a lot. Robin is attempting to play guitar and injuring his fingers. Oh, and he's decided he wants to do 30 push-ups and 30 sit-ups on a nightly basis.
That sounds about right.
That sounds. There we go.
That sounds pretty good. And I'm just trying to sort out this damn it, what do you call it? This stream feed, chat feed. Because I think it just might be pointing to the wrong thing. So we'll see if that makes any difference.
Eventually we'll get that fixed.
You do that, and Greg and I'll just continue our conversation.
Okay, so I suppose we should start to move on a little bit, should we?
I think we should talk some games.
Goodness me, that's going on.
Well done, Robin. Well done. Restream chat is now up. So, by the way, let's highlight that real quickly. You know, we are all about the community. We have our chat is front and center on our broadcast. So, you know, that's where we want people to get in, talk it up, throw questions at us if you like. We do respond to the chat, as we affectionately call it. So that being said, let's talk some games, Robin. Let's fire up a jingle.
Games, fuck.
Today I feel like playing computer games. Today I feel like playing computer games.
All right, so games. Why don't we start with, let's just do the rundown of the new monthly freebies. Before we dive into what we're playing, Nicole, maybe you can go through some games with benefits here.
Okay. I'm like so not paying attention. Sorry.
That's all right. I'm here to keep you.
because I'm like, the notes are not in the right order anymore. So you can join us for gaming tag along. Each month we pick one of the Xbox games that are quote unquote free.
Right.
As long as you have gold subscription or PlayStation, as long as you have a monthly subscription. And we pinky promise, that's one of these things, the little finger, to commit to at least a couple hours of the game or both if you're hardcore. I know we've been doing that a lot lately too with a particular game, but we'll get onto that in a minute. So this month's choices started on... Is this the correct ones?
These are the correct ones, yes.
Okay. Xbox One is Vanquish and PS4.
Okay, no. Let me take a step back. The ones that have been picked here are incorrect. We haven't picked out any games yet for this month, for the month of June.
I was like, no, these are wrong.
Yeah, so we could pick out a few games for the month of June. And then from there, we can... Why don't we walk through... Yeah, why don't we just walk through the games that are available, and then we'll go back and pick some. How's that?
Yeah, let's do that.
That works.
All right, so for Xbox One is Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia for all of June, which actually I'm going to download that one. Metal Gear Solid 5.
Cinco.
The Phantom Pain, available from the 16th of June or May until the 15th of June. And then after that, on the 16th of June till the 30th will be Smite Gold Bundle.
Yes.
So I'm assuming the 360s are all backwards compatible. So Sonic and the All-Star Racing Transformed for the 360 and Lego Indiana Jones 2, The New Adventures.
Yeah, so the Sonic game is a kart racer, and actually pretty well received from what I understand.
Said kart.
Yeah. Yep, kart racer. Yes. Yep. Kart racer, and then the Lego Indiana Jones game. That's actually a collection of all of the Lego Indiana Jones games. So if you like Lego, you like Indiana Jones, that might be worth your while.
That actually was a lot of. Did you play those? Any of those Lego Indiana Jones?
I never really get into the Lego games. I know people adore them, and a lot of people love them. I just don't get into them that much.
I love that. The Lego Indiana Jones game is brilliant. It's really, really good.
Yeah, they are adorable. And if you love the movies, playing along with the game,
very funny.
You'll get all those little nuances.
Yes.
So, all right. So for PlayStation Plus for June, the highlighted games with benefits are XCOM 2 and Trials Fusion for the PS4. My dog is voting in the background.
Okay.
Yep, there she goes. PS3 is Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier. Future Shoulder. Soldier. I have a hard time with that word. And Zombie Driver HD Complete Edition.
Ooh.
And then for the PS Vita, I thought the thing died. Squares and Atomic Ninjas.
It just keeps on going.
It is basically dead, much like the PS3. However, they're still supporting that with games up until 2019. That's when they will officially stop doing any Vita games or PS3 games for PlayStation Plus. But until then, you'll still get some games.
Okay.
And then we do also have the list for the Twitch Prime games, by the way, for June. I just actually updated that.
Actually,
that's okay. You've got Strafe, the Banner Saga 1 and 2, both those games available, and then Tumblestone and Treadnoughts. I think the highlights for the Twitch games, the Banner Saga games, are pretty well received. So those might be worth checking out if you have not played them before.
Yeah, the Humble Bundle this month also is just fabulous on PC. Just going through it here, just grabbing it now. The June bundle is loading Cook Serve Delicious 2 sticks, bear with me, but it's Destiny 2's in here as well. So, wow. You know, if you're subscribed to that Humble Bundle thing on PC, is pretty cool. It's pretty darn cool. It's excellent. So yeah, get to that.
So I'm just going to throw some votes out for Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia. I think that's a game that, Nicole, you said you were going to download.
Yeah.
I think I'd be interested in checking that out.
Which one did I play? There's 3 of them.
There's China, there's Russia, and there's one more. I forgot which the
okay.
other one
Well, I've played China, and China was good. Now I hear they get progressively worse as they go along.
Oh, perfect.
Or better. I'm not sure which one it is. Do you know what? They're okay. They remind me of that other little really cool platformer stealthy thing. God, what was it called? It was in one of the
Pain in the ass.
Summer of Arcade ones. It was Brill. Mike Chen absolutely adored it. Shadow.
Oh, marked for
Mark of the Ninja.
Mark of the Ninja.
So
yes.
they're very, very like that. They play that sort of style, and they're worth free. They were never that dear,
Huh?
and they're definitely worth a play. Even the China, get into it. So give it a whiz.
All right, and I would say for the PS4, XCOM 2, just because Trials Fusion, that's a game I think pretty much everybody had already played. XCOM 2 is a game that not everybody's familiar with.
Yeah.
Didn't we have the trials? Didn't we have? There was a competition with that game.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
we did quite a bit with that. I mean, they're both good games. I think the PlayStation Plus games, especially for the PS4, are very good games across the board. And they're different types of games. So they're one is definitely a turn-based strategy game, and the other, Trials Fusion, that is a great just pick up and play and just fast restart, try, keep trying until you succeed game. Yeah. So it just so happens that I have been playing a ton of one of those games on the PS4, but not on the PS4. How's that?
Oh,
what
would that be? What is it?
I don't know. I mean, it might be Trials Fusion, but probably XCOM 2. Just saying.
What, this week?
Yes, yeah. In fact, let's just dive into it. Let's talk about the games we've been playing. So, I'll take the lead since I already started talking about it. XCOM 2. I've been playing a ton of it again. I love this game. It is a game that you just sink hours and hours into. It's about managing your base and your resources, but also, obviously on the battlefield. When you're playing it, it's very much chess. In terms of making the right moves and basically putting your soldiers in a position to win. However, XCOM 2 is notorious, and it certainly continues to play out in their expansion, The War of the Chosen, which is there are going to be times where you are like, okay, I've got this shot lined up. I am in it, and I'm going to win. This is no way I miss this shot, and like a 2% miss, percentage, and you still miss. It's what XCOM does. But there is something so satisfying about beating these missions against all odds, because you are almost always at a disadvantage in this game. Your squad will never be probably as kitted out and better than the enemy, especially in the latter part of the game.
Yeah.
It is all about managing and funneling the enemy into your kill, your kill traps, your vantage points, as opposed to rushing into theirs. And there are a few enemy types that, man, I tell you, you see them on screen and your heart just sinks, because likely you're losing a soldier regardless of what happens.
Do you still name them? Do you mean that? I mean, are we still in the team sort of thing? Is Nicole and
Yes, there are still named players on my squad. Robin, amazingly, you are still alive. As much as I tried to kill you over this past sessions,
it's pure luck.
It is pure luck. But yeah, no. In fact, you are the only one left from the podcast team that is still alive. I think Mark just died.
You see, I run away and hide generally, so that's probably what it is.
That was kind of what you were doing in the beginning. There were numerous times where your character just panicked and you took off running, and it cost me other characters. However, since then, you have recovered nicely, and you have achieved major status. So, and now I'm not going to lie, I have put on clown face paint on your character. So it's pretty amusing whenever I see you on the battlefield. But no, XCOM 2 is, I love this game, and it will always be up there in my all-time favorites. So I bought the expansion pack War of the Chosen. It adds a bunch to the game, so well worth picking up War of the Chosen and adding it to the game, especially if you get the game for free. I would absolutely say pick up the expansion, support the developer. They have made a quality game.
Nicole, did you get into this? Did you get XCOM?
Not in the slightest.
I tried.
My brother came by and he was like, "Oh my God, XCOM!" And so he was playing it on my Xbox once when it was just the first one.
Right.
And he's explaining it, and he did a beautiful job of explaining it. And I think I played maybe 20 minutes before I was like, "Here, you can have the controller back." I don't like this shit.
It's a strategy game through and through. So if you like action games that you like something that's going to be more fast paced, this is definitely not going to be a game for you. This is all about patience. It's about thinking things out. It's about equipping your soldiers,
though, right?
and it's completely turn based. But
yeah, I hate turn based.
The unique thing that they did to the XCOM series, which is as you're taking your turns with your characters, they often will use kind of cinematic cuts of your characters making their moves, whatever you're telling them to do. Maybe it's, you're having them, run into a building. As they run up into the building, it'll cut away into like a cinematic view of them kicking in a door and then running into cover, that kind of thing. So, again, love the game. It is a fantastic turn-based strategy game, but it is a turn-based strategy game. So, you have to be down for that. If you're not, then yeah.
I mean, it does look so well polished for that sort of thing, but I just don't think it's my sort of thing. I did feel guilty for a while because you were all into it, and remember when the first one came out, and you were all really into it in a big way, and I felt.
Well, and I think
the same thing is like I totally love Minecraft.
Yeah.
But Greg, it's not his cup of tea.
Right,
and that's just all it is. It's not his game style. XCOM, obviously, you love, and it sounds good. If they would, do something where they brought Age of Empires, something like that to the console, I'd be a happy girl. And see Halo 2, no, Halo, what was
Halo
it?
Wars.
Yeah, Halo Wars 1 and 2, same thing. It was that. It was cute, and it was very Age of Empires-esque, but I couldn't really 100% get into it.
See, I loved Halo Wars, and then like things like Red Alert back in the day was my cup of tea, because it was sort of strategy, but it was all moving. Right. Any time they could come over and attack you, and I thought Halo Wars, all units.
See, I think my problem with Halo Wars is I really wanted it to be more like Age of Empires, the little history part, not so sci-fi. But it was fun, but it's not the same difference.
Well, if we were all the same, it would be boring.
We wouldn't have a show.
No.
Exactly. So just rounding out some of the kind of ongoing stuff, BattleTech, another turn-based strategy game, very much like XCOM 2, except for mechs. Also enjoying that on the PC. So State of Decay 2, got in some multiplayer with Mark, played some co-op this past week with that. So that was actually a load of fun. Co-op definitely feels like a different game. And it's mostly because you just can do more. One of the things about State of Decay when you're playing State of Decay 2, when you're playing that solo, is you have to be a little bit more mindful of kind of how you're going to go about gathering your resources. You have to make sure you have a vehicle. You have to, your character, you want to make sure you have a backpack that has as many slots as possible so you can carry as much as you can. So, you maximize your time out foraging for stuff. When you have a partner, it was really kind of funny because, Mark and I are out and Mark's like, hey, I see another vehicle. I'm going to go grab it. So he grabs another vehicle, pulls it up. So now we're a convoy of 2 and we're just packing stuff into the back of the vehicles and taking it back to my base camp. And the collection of resources went up way fast as opposed to.
Right? Yeah, because it's 2 versus 1.
Yep. And you can do up to 4, and we didn't have any problems. I know some people have had issues with lag, that kind of thing. So I think, certainly your connection dependency, if you have a bad internet connection, this is probably not going to be a pleasurable online co-op experience because you're probably going to get some lag. You're going to get some jumpy bits. But, they've done a lot of updates to the game. I believe they just put out a new update that patched in a bunch of bugs and fixes. So I think State of Decay 2 is in a really good spot in terms of the game that's out there now. And if you like The Walking Dead, and this is to me, State of Decay 2 is the perfect Walking Dead simulator because you have this community of people that you're building your own little community, and you have to manage them. You have different personalities, and they conflict with one another sometimes, and sometimes people cause problems, and so you have to kind of weigh the benefits of bringing them in, potentially exiling them. You have to do all of the resource management on top of it. So, the food gathering, all of the resource management that goes along with keeping people alive in the apocalypse.
It's strange. It has been getting some negative feedback, but I think there's a swell of people that are saying, hey, hold on a second. That's not really fair. This game really comes alive like a lot of games in co-op, and that's well, so, is it jank? Is it really? Oh, look at him there! Oh, they look really good zombie creatures. Oh,
So I mean, there's a little bit of jank here and there. A little bit of glitchiness. No different than say a Grand Theft Auto when you're playing online, GTA Online, or even GTA single player. Every once in a while, things are going to get a little glitchy. You might have an NPC character, stuck, facing a wall or something because, they just got, caught up, and it's a big open world game. It's this is a procedurally generated game on top of it. So everybody's world is going to be different from one another. You're not going to have the same footprint exactly. Again, I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, so I think I really dig into this because I look at it as The Walking Dead, and at the end of the day, open world zombie game. It's fun stuff. And at nighttime, it's one of the things that a lot of people have love about this game, and some other people I think get a little frustrated by it. But nighttime, it is dark.
There's no electricity. It should be dark, and it does frustrate me when I play, but I get it.
Yeah, it's because it kind of gets scary. You're just like, I don't know what's out there. I
have actually piddled around just my camp, just because I'm like, well, I know about where some of these zombies are, and I am not going to go out of my way to go venture off. So I'll prepare my car. I'll make some medicines. I'll do whatever I need to do in the camp, and maybe switch characters, put somebody to sleep, whatever, and then go, okay, crack of dawn. I can see some sunlight. I can start seeing zombies. We can go now.
Yeah, no, in fact, I did the exact same thing just the other day. I was just like, not going to go out tonight. I'm going to wait for daylight.
Damn, look, the size of that TV on the screen right now. Holy crap. That's like something from the 70s. When is this set? It was like a big, massive box TV. Where's the cat?
I want to say it's kind of set in modern times. So, the vehicles feel 80s, 90s-ish, somewhere in there.
And some of those home decorating skills are terrible then. They need
my God, it was decorated by a bunch of dudes in a studio.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need a decorator.
Leave it to fucking Robin to criticize the home decorating of the people. The apocalypse, Robin. Come on. But yeah, no. So I think this game is a solid 8.
Oh, wow,
you know, it's
okay,
not
that's good.
perfect.
That's
It's not
good.
perfect,
It's a good game.
but it is a good game. And if you have Xbox Game Pass, heck, it's worth it. I mean, you know, $10 a month, you get access to this game. This game is easily worth that. You know, and honestly, the $30 price tag for it, you know, for $30, it's a great bargain as well. So I don't think you can really go wrong with this game. But again, you know, it needs to be to your liking. So if you don't like zombie games, then okay, you're probably not going to like State of Decay 2.
But you know what though? Like you said, it's on where you can just at least try it.
Yeah.
I'm like, so if you're gonna do Game Pass, do try these games. You know, you may be surprised because I looked at it and I was like, man, I'm not gonna like this game at all. Well, lo and behold, I love this game.
Yeah.
I've gotten to play with Mark. I've gotten to play with my son, and and you and I pretty much play the same way. It seems, Greg, where we stay at home in the dark.
Did you play with yourself?
And it actually is very interesting building up that community. So it is a fun game. I really recommend everybody go out if you have an opportunity to play a different game. Try it.
Okay. Well, when the time comes, when I get the time, definitely I want to because because 4-player co-op must be crazy.
Yes.
Running this.
And 4 players who know what they're doing.
Jesus,
rather
look at
than
the size of the
turning on
monitor. It's a big
empty-
old bloody CRT monitor.
Why do you care?
Get over it, Robin. Get past it. Get past it.
God, there's no
Get past
bidet.
it.
Anyway, carry on. Anyway, okay.
The apocalypse, Robin. The apocalypse. Yes, bidets are not. I mean, you're lucky to have a bathroom at this point, Robin.
Yeah.
But yeah, so outside of that, the last game that I tried is actually a closed beta. Robin, you and I actually both were playing The Crew 2.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know, obviously this is a beta or beta, depending upon what side of the pond you're on. You know, it's in beta, so it's not finished. There are definitely some rough spots to it. But I think we can talk about our thoughts and impressions of it. I didn't sign off on any NDA that's going to get me sued, at least as far as I know.
So listen to this. Okay, things that I was impressed with. I spent about 15 minutes or longer playing with the map. The map is spectacular. So you start up with this big chunk of majority of America, and you could zoom in before from way up high. So you're like in a satellite view looking down, and before you could sort of zoom in, but now you can zoom right in to almost the tarmac of the road that you zoom in on, and like Sim City sort of thing, you can zoom right in and see all the little cars whizzing around the place. It is absolutely fabulous as far as that's concerned. So I mean, I was skipping through, you know, let's go to Las Vegas, and let's go to Yosemite and San Francisco and go around LA. And yes, it's not all there, but I mean, I was at the fountains at the Bellagio where I stood last summer, and that was there. You know, and parts of Yosemite were there, and it's that part of it was just brilliant. The gameplay, I've spent maybe about an hour and a half with this so far, so it sort of introduces you to the different modes of play, and there are a main sort of driving racing mode. There's off-road stuff. There seems to be motorbikes, which I haven't tried yet. There's planes and boats. So the 4 main things it takes are the planes, off-road, standard cars, and boats. And there's like an intro for them. Now, as a typical racer, the voice acting, and they try to shoehorn a bit of a story, not so much a story as a setting. It's a bit weak.
But, no, it's pretty horrible. Let's call it what it is. That was bad voice acting.
But that's not what this game's about, really.
True.
And I had lots of fun in the plane. The plane was great. getting up and doing the sort of plane mission that you had to go to, and flying down low. That handles are very arcadey, and the cars drove pretty well. And there seems to be an absolute multitude of different buggies and cars and swamp vehicles and a whole manner thing. But here's the thing: I don't know how differently any of them really handle. You know.
Well, so just talking about the vehicles. So driving wise, I did notice a difference when I did the off-road rally stuff compared to the street racing. The trucks. I was racing a truck in an off-road map. It handled very heavy. It handled like it felt like you were going off-road. It didn't feel as nimble as the street racing went. So from that standpoint, I was pretty pleased. I'm with you. It's an odd game in that everything feels very arcadey. It feels very easy to pick up and play, but I think the audience for this game may want something a little bit more in depth. And maybe I'm not giving it enough of a fair shake yet, so I'm going to certainly play some more of it and kind of finish out the beta. And because I believe it ends tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But anyway, it's got a lot of promise. The story's completely throwaway. But in terms of a game that just offers you a bunch of different choices, boats, planes, cars, motorbikes. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of potential.
It reminds me of a game that I can't remember the name of. Damn it. And it came out. There was another sequel to it quite recently. You're on this island, and you have to. A lot of it's blowing stuff up, and it's a bit like Far Cry looks, but cartoony, and you could race.
Just Cause.
Just Cause. Yes.
Okay.
So it has that sort of Just Cause feel to the flying. And but the vehicles are a bit better, but the flying definitely. I mean, looking at some of the video we just passed, we're past the Kennedy Space Center, and there's a space shuttle on the launch pad. Now, for goodness sake, when was this game made? There hasn't been a space shuttle on the launch pad in a long time. No, I'm getting pernickety now. But I mean, just some of the lovely little details, like again when I zoomed in on the map and the Everglades and had a hook around. I came across some flamingos, and you could zoom right into the flamingo flying. And I had a look, and I kept on looking, and I came across an alligator, and the alligator was moving around. And there is some nice little detail in it. So yes, like you, I will continue to play the beta. And do you know what? It looks like sort of throwaway fun. I don't think it's a contender for Forza Horizon.
No, it's not sim enough. I think to really take those games on, but I think the real upside of this game is that it's in essence it's giving you 4 different games in one, right? You're getting a car racing game, you're getting a motorbike, rally racing game, you're getting an airplane racing game, and then you also, of course, have the boats. And the premise, by the way, going back to the story, the premise of this is you are this promoter that's trying to, or I guess the game follows a promoter that's trying to get these different no-name racers, followers, and the more followers you get, the more prestige you build, which then gets you to go to better and bigger events. And the ultimate goal is to, become this worldwide phenomenon, kind of like an Evel Knievel, if you will, that people are just going to be following you, seeing you doing whatever you're doing. Take that story and chuck it aside. The real, the real meat of this game is just all these different types of events you can do. I think. Oh,
sorry, just watching the video there. I didn't realize. Yeah. So he was in a plane and he just selected on his D-pad, by the looks of it, a car, and it went straight from car or plane to car. So that was pretty neat. It is, and it's licensed vehicles as well. They're named, Porsches and Ferraris and all that stuff. So and it looks all right. Yes, there's a bit of jank. Like I remember, the first one was bloody awful when it first came out. It turned into a decent game, but I remember playing the beta of this at EGX. in London, probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and the beta at this stage was awful. It was framey as hell. Yes, there's the odd little jitter and loading screens, but most of the driving stuff for me was pretty smooth and pretty okay. So, do you know what? It's a B tier racer, but it looks like fun. So, we'll see. Keep an eye on it.
Agreed.
Keep an eye on it.
All right. Well, I think that kind of rounds out, unless anybody wants to talk about another game that's not on our list, but I think we pretty much talked about everything. So that being said, why don't we dive into a quiz?
The Overseas Connection presents the world famous.
Are we doing music?
I think so.
Can't see.
All right. That's you, Nicole.
Oh, I can't see Robin. I was on the show notes. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
All right. So welcome to Who Said It's Best. Now it's just you two boys today. So you got some chance right here to catch up with Kim.
I like it.
You know these quotes mainly come from video games, but can come from other related sources, including, but not limited to, movies, graphic novels, and other fictional stories. So I'll read the quote, I'll read the choices, and give you a count of 3 to give me your answer of A, B, or C. I did change it up a little bit. Instead of 4 choices, I gave you 3.
All right.
Make it a little easier today.
Okay.
So you guys can tell me who said it best. All right, number 1. A man chooses, a slave obeys. Is that A, from BioShock, B, from Dragon Age Origins, or C, Skyrim?
Can you repeat it again, please?
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sake,
a man
listen, will you?
chooses... What?
Would you
Without
listen?
Robin talking.
Okay.
Yes.
A man chooses, a slave obeys. So who said it best? A, BioShock, B, Dragon Age Origins, or C, Skyrim? Answers in 3, 2, 1.
After 3, 3.
Oh shit.
Dick
Oh,
move, Robin. It was a
Dick
dick.
Yeah, you gotta pay attention. Holy crap. I'm actually impressed.
With who?
Yeah. With
I'm watching Robin's little head bobbing up now. He's like, hey. Well, I'm not impressed with Greg, if that helps you any.
Oh shit.
Oh, crap.
The answer is A, BioShock,
Oh, yeah,
which is
right.
what Robin put down.
Yeah.
Yep.
I see how it is. All right. All right.
Wow, look,
Hey,
look what we can
Very
win.
rarely impressed with Robin.
Fair play. Fair play.
Okay.
All right. So, question number 2. Or, sorry, quote number 2. Ugh, I friggin' hate that guy. And this is from Borderlands. So is it A, Handsome Jack, B, Tiny Tina, or C, Claptrap?
What? Sorry, what was it? What?
I friggin' hate that guy. A, Handsome Jack, B, Tiny Tina, or C, Claptrap?
Okay.
Who said it best? In 3, 2, 1.
Ooh.
Oh, look at that. You both have this. Well, I can tell you that with those answers, you're both wrong.
Was it Jack?
Handsome Jack.
It is actually Handsome Jack.
Bollocks.
Were you going back and forth, Greg?
Yeah, I knew it wasn't Claptrap, but I could see Tiny Tina saying that, because wasn't there some guy that was annoying the crap out of her at the beginning of her story?
Yeah.
So that's where I was thinking, you know what, it was probably her, but then that's absolutely something Handsome Jack would be saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why I always try and put, one that's blatantly not it.
Yes.
And
Fair
2
enough.
that you got to be iffy on. All
All
right.
right. This is I got to get this to tie at least. Have a shot.
Yes, because right now, Robin's tied with Kim.
I know. Robin is just a grape-eating fool.
He's a what? Oh,
A grape-eating fool.
Sorry, I'm making notes. Who got what? All right. So, quote number 3. Sorry, this quote cracks me up. I named him Waggleton P. Tallylicker, but I never got the chance to tell him he will be remembered.
Wow.
So, who said it best? And this is from Bulletstorm. So, A. Trishka, B. Grayson, or C. Serrano. I named him Waggleton P. Tallylicker.
That's what I
but
call
I
my
never got the
penis.
chance to tell him. So A. Trishka, B. Grayson, or C. Serrano. Answers in 3, 2, 1. Greg, you got a point. I'm so excited for you.
God damn it.
Woohoo!
There you
That is-
go.
Yeah, it was Grayson though. He's
All right.
hilarious. I love doing the quotes because I love going back through and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, I remember when he said that, or she said that, or whatever. And it brings back some good gaming memories. So congratulations to you both
Well
on a
done,
point
Greg.
each.
Yeah. Point
Yep.
point to you and I both, Robin. Well done. Well
Thank
done.
you.
Kim, we are breathing down your sick neck.
So I'm going to update the scores right now, maybe if my computer will
You do
cooperate.
mean you do mean health sick. You don't mean like she's like
Yes.
sick as in
Yeah. Health sick.
yeah. Okay.
Yes. So right now it is Kim 2, Greg
Yeah.
2, Robin 2, Mark,
Kim, we've crawled up your backside.
Mark, Phil, and Richard all have big fat goose eggs.
All right. Look.
Hey, Greg.
No.
I'm in Kim's backside. Get me out of
Don't
here.
need the visual.
Please stop.
Yes. Just
Please.
stop. All right. Look, there was not a lot of news. Really, kind of no news
God
from this
damn it!
past
There
week.
has to be news.
No, there's no news. There's no news to news. I mean, it really was a quiet.
Here is the fucking news.
So, news or no news?
You haven't
All
really
right.
got this silence when the sound effects are going thing yet, Nicole, have you?
That was Robin's way of saying I've got sound effects going.
Was news
I don't
this week?
see Robin because I'm looking at the notes. I only see who's talking or was last talking.
Fair enough.
Okay, well,
Fair enough.
Well, when there was news, there was Fallout news. Fallout! God damn it! What about Fallout?
True, there was Fallout news, but it was kind of this continued trend of pre E3 announcements, companies getting out ahead of E3, and I wonder if they're just doing this to avoid the leaks, right before their big shows. But Bethesda, out of the blue, starts a Fallout, stream, basically saying stay tuned. They had the Fallout screen, and they had a little bobblehead of the Fallout shelter guy sitting in the corner, and it was stay tuned. It was like for 24 hours they ran this video.
Oh, yeah.
And they updated it a little bit throughout the video. At one point they had the Fallout character like lying down. So at the end of the day, there's a new game that's been announced, Fallout 76. We don't really know anything about this game other than the little teaser trailer they showed, which Robin, you actually have, I think, up on the feed right now. People are speculating it might be a multiplayer
online
Fallout game.
Yeah, like online thing.
Which would make sense. That certainly Bethesda went that direction with Skyrim, and for as much as people said that Skyrim Online was not doing well out of the gate, it seems to have turned a corner and is now a nice little moneymaker for them. So this very well might be a massive multiplayer Fallout game, which that would be pretty interesting. It's not something they've ever done before. So
well, I mean, Vault 76 is quite an interesting vault to do it in as well, because it was just a people vault. There was no experiments going on there. There was just 500 people or something in it locked away. It was one of the ones that was locked up for the longest time. So they're going to come out as ordinary people. and it'll be interesting to see how that plays in that universe. So yeah, look forward to it.
Right.
We'll see what happens with it.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently we'll learn more, obviously, at the Bethesda conference. So I would anticipate learning more, at least.
I'm going to tell you, it doesn't look like those 500 people make it, though, from that video.
Does anybody really make it in Fallout? I mean, for the most part. A lot of people have died in it.
Fallout games, though.
Okay,
yes,
well, I mean, you must be very excited because you are going to E3 now. So you must be getting your suitcase ready already and getting ready.
So I'm excited.
Yes.
But it's literally a day trip. I fly out in the morning. I'm going down to the conference, the Microsoft press conference, because I got into it, and then I fly back that night. I mean, it is literally a hop, skip, and a jump. Just going down, experiencing the conference, since I did not experience a conference when I actually went to E3 before. So I've done the show floor thing before. I thought about trying to buy a ticket and just doing the E3 show floor stuff, but to be perfectly honest, I didn't care for it. It's a lot of waiting, a lot of standing in line.
Yeah, they're all like that.
Exactly. It's the same thing. So I'd much rather just kind of experience, seeing the trailers, that kind of thing, from the comfort of my own home. But it's a unique situation. I got, an event ticket for the actual press event, so I thought I will go to this. I will check that out. But yeah, so let's just talk about kind of what we're hoping for, what we're expecting. I threw up Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, and then quote unquote others. Obviously we know that Ubisoft and EA and Bethesda and Square Enix, they're also going to be doing their own press event this year. So there certainly are some third-party presence that we should be seeing a lot more of. Nintendo's probably the one, at least from my own perspective, I know the least about. Not being a Nintendo console owner currently, I don't really follow a lot of their stuff. So I don't have any huge aspirations of what I want to see from Nintendo. I think probably the one thing I would hope to see from Nintendo is continued third-party support, more third-party games coming over to the Switch, because I can see that being a console I might eventually pick up if they have some good third-party games. I don't care for Nintendo games, personally. I'm not a Mario guy. I don't really get into Zelda. So those aren't games that I'm super excited to play. But, hey, XCOM 2 on a Switch console, that would be phenomenal. That would be something I would probably buy a Switch for, just if they had XCOM 2, so I could take it with me in my travels. Do either of you have any hopes or thoughts around what Nintendo might be bringing to the table?
Not so much. Well, Nintendo, yeah. You know what? There's a whole back catalog of Wii U games there that Treasure Tracker. God, I'll just look over here. There's the Donkey Kong Country has came there recently, but I mean there was a whole pile that brought it for Wii U that they need to pull over to that because they didn't do the numbers for the Wii U, so they've got a whole back catalogue there which will still look great on it. So I expect a lot of that, but they'll still do they'll be phoning it in, won't they? Still, they'll phone it in. They won't actually do a big E3 thing.
Well, yeah, they'll have their Nintendo Direct. I mean, they're pretty well known at this point for just having these direct videos as their press events. So it's not going to be a stage event. I'm curious to see. I know the Minecraft stuff on Switch, I believe, is all out now with the cross compatibility. So I'm curious to kind of get some updates in and around that, just to see how it's interacting with other platforms. But yeah, I mean, just from my perspective, seeing more third-party games is kind of what I want to see from Nintendo, and I anticipate we will see that.
They are getting the support. It's a great platform now, so
yeah,
and a lot of stuff is there. Yes, there might be some cut-down stuff, but yeah, they're going to be cool. Me being sort of Microsoft-centered, I'm sorry about that, listeners. There's quite a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to there, multi-platform and not for Xbox. Is my home. I mean, yes, I mean, I think Splinter Cell is going to be definitely, I think that's a safe bet that Splinter Cell is going to be announced officially, that a new Splinter Cell game will be there, and I'll look forward to that because I love Splinter Cell. And of course, I think we're going to see Halo 6. Yeah. So Halo 6, definitely we're going to probably see Master Chief again, walking across the desert again in a sackcloth.
So here's a question. Do either of you, I mean, throw this to both of you. What are the chances we think Halo 6 comes this year? It's due. If you look at the 3-year life cycle, it should be coming this year, but a lot of speculation has been maybe it's not. What do you think? Do you think it makes it out this year?
Well, when did it usually release? I mean, was it a late autumn?
October, November timeframe.
Because that's when, and you've got Red Dead, and what other big hitters are coming out?
The Battlefield, the Call of Duties, but those are all October games right now.
Okay, and Spider-Man is late September, so you can get possibly, but it's not their style. I mean, yes, we talk about Bethesda. I imagine this Bethesda game is going to come out before the end of the year, or in January or February at latest, because that's the way they do things. And then you've got Rage 2 there as well. Will we get a Halo game? Ooh. Well, it would be lovely. I wish they would all start doing this. I wish they would start to say, yeah, and it's coming in within 5 months or 6 months, rather than it's coming in 3 or 4 years. But I think that Microsoft especially need to clear the closet of anything that they're talking about. They need to break this. They don't have games. Where is Microsoft's God of War? I mean, where is the Spider-Man? Where is those biggie games? Where is the Horizon Zero Dawn? They need to start working on stuff like that. So, will Halo come this year? No, I can't imagine it. Maybe early next year. It'd be great if it did. I would say that if it doesn't come this year, I would say they're gonna, like a lot of people, we're gonna see a lot of Battle Royale stuff. And they are still working away with Halo 5, and there is still quite a lot of players there. And that would be the perfect platform just to bring a Battle Royale thing into the Halo 5 multiplayer. Because, I mean, every game has a King of the Hill mode or all that sort of standoff mode. And Battle Royale is just going to be another one of those modes that are included. So Halo 5 would be a nice way to keep people happy with the Halo franchise, waiting for Halo 6 to come along. That would be a nice little tease. Get people playing. Maybe. I don't know.
Interesting. All right. Nicole, what do you think? Halo this year? No? Yes?
Well, if they keep with their 3-year time, I would see it probably as one of those buy it for Christmas type things. Maybe releasing after all those others have hit and maybe had a month to be out before they go off and say, hey, here we are, buy us for Christmas. Because they start releasing all the good, like a lot of those good games that we just mentioned in October. Mm-hmm. Most people are finished with them within a week or two. Obviously not Red Dead. That'll be like in a month or two. But still, the newness factor has worn off by time late November, like a Black Friday kind of release. Or Christmas right in time, like the 12 days of Christmas right around the 12th. So I could see it happening. But I do really like what Robin has suggested as a possibility as well. I mean, it does make sense either way.
Okay. All right. I'm.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they do push Halo into next year. I think that it may actually wait all the way up until holiday next year. So, it's going to take a 4-year release this go round. I mean, I've been hearing that obviously Master Chief Collection, they are doing a lot of work on the back end of that to make that correct and right. So I almost kind of think maybe we're going to see a re-release of that for this holiday and kind of celebrate that re-release. I don't think they'll have a Battle Royale in that re-release. I think that is going to be something that gets reserved either for Halo 6 or potentially a Gears of War spin-off. There have been rumblings of a Gears of War spin-off game, and I could see a Battle Royale-esque game in the Gears universe. So,
God, imagine the size of the parachute those boys will need. Yeah. So my other stuff as well, as far as what Microsoft, I think, need to pull out old stuff that can revisit, like Fable, Greg. Fable needs to come back as a revisited, relaunched, whole.
Well, I mean, the scuttlebutt is that is in the works, right? There have been multiple sources that have reported that game actually is being made, and everybody has been targeting Playground Studios as the team that is doing that. So those are the Forza Horizon guys.
Yeah.
So I think we do see something from Fable 4. I don't think it's a this year game, unfortunately. I think it's still another game that's going to be a 2019 potential release. The big question mark, I think, is Crackdown 3.
Yeah.
Do we actually see it this year? Because, again, that's another game that's some scuttlebutt of it might get pushed out. There's I would agree with you, though, Robin, that Microsoft needs to bring out some first-party game, first-party IP, and just get that machine going again, because they really suffered. And this goes back to the, there's no games comments. Microsoft put some bets on a lot of new IP in this generation. They really did. The problem for Microsoft is a lot of that just didn't pan out the way they had hoped.
Yeah, Scalebound and a few other things.
Well, Scalebound, that's an interesting one, by the way, because apparently they renewed the Scalebound trademark recently. So some people are speculating maybe that game's not dead. Maybe they've brought it back from the ashes. I tend to think not. I think they're just protecting that IP. And they're just making sure it doesn't get used or bought up by somebody else. But, things like, Fable, Mech Assault, again, that's one I have hopes for and dreams and aspirations to see them bring out a new Mech Assault game. Whether they're really going to do that, I don't know.
I just want to see something I just have no idea about. I mean, there's videos playing in the background there.
Right.
Yes, love to play God of War, and I can, and I will, and that's fab. But I don't give a toss if it's exclusive or not. I really don't. I'll play it wherever it is. And some of the stuff, there's a wee video running in there, predictions video in the background. Things like Borderlands 3, the Walking Dead game, which looks absolutely fantastic as well.
It does look good.
Yeah.
It does look good.
So there's some fantastic games coming this time round. So
yes, the Cyberpunk game as well. That's one that I'm really curious to see.
That's the Witcher 3 guys that are doing it.
Yeah. Nicole, do you have any game that's kind of at the top of your wish list in terms of wanting to see more of?
I would still like to see another Left 4 Dead. I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. Frig, yeah.
Those were some of the most fun games to play when it came to zombies. And if they would ever get off their laurels and make another, I would be I'd be the happiest woman on earth. They were just that much fun. The camaraderie between the AI, the things that they would say whether you were playing by yourself or with other people. Going into multiplayer was even fun, which I very rarely say that. So getting the chance to be one of the bad guys or the good guys, I mean, it was just the tools you got to use to kill zombies. The frying pan, the machetes.
The witch. Oh, it's a witch. Whoa, it's a witch.
Oh, yeah. Don't wake the witch up.
I mean, it was just a lot of fun. And I would love to see that again. And I know that they could do it again, and it would look phenomenal now.
I think the thing that's keeping that game from probably being made is just the fact that, to be very honest, Valve just is not making games anymore. They've got
somebody else could buy the rights, though.
I know. Well, Turtle Rock was the studio that did that game, or at least they did the second one. I don't know if they did the first one or not. Yeah. Who knows? Who knows? So let's shift gears a little bit. Sony. What are we hoping to see from Sony? I personally, a new TV from Sony. Okay, I can almost guarantee that will happen, just not at this show. I know that they said they're going to focus in on their main hitters. Last of Us 2, the new Spider-Man game, the other zombie apocalypse game. The name is totally escaping me at the moment. And then the new the other game, not David Cage, but
yeah, with your man,
crazy one,
from Sean, not from Game of Thrones, guy in it. There's a little clip of it here. Yeah,
about failing as game journalists at the moment.
About the baby thing.
Yes, the baby in
the bathwater. Yeah, Death something or other, or
Death Stranding. Thank you. Yeah. So, I mean, I want to see something from that only because, look, those have always. I mean, the Metal Gears have always been gorgeous, beautifully done games. The stories are. I could care less about the stories, but they're visually very appealing. So I'm curious to see where this goes. I personally, I want to see Last of Us 2 only because I want to see if because the reveal trailer for The Last of Us 2 last time was very dark and a little over the top, probably a little more graphic than a lot of people cared for. So I'm really kind of curious if they continue on that dark path or if they soften that tone a little bit and dial back from that. And then I absolutely want to see more of the Spider-Man game. At the danger of maybe seeing too much, because that game is just around the corner. It's, I believe, comes out in September timeframe. But I want to see this game succeed on so many levels just because I love Insomniac. I think they are a fantastic developer, and they deserve a blockbuster hit. And I think this Spider-Man game is going to be their mega hit on a level they have not really seen before.
So will Sunset Overdrive make an appearance again? Or is it dead forever?
It could. I hope if it does, they make some changes. I was not a fan of the perpetual motion aspect of Sunset Overdrive. I wanted it to have a little bit more of that traditional shooter kind of feel to it. And because I continuously tried to play it that way. So, but that's an IP that I think Microsoft could easily revisit. It was a media darling. It was well received in the media. It just did not do super well sales-wise. So if they can discover some of that magic sauce and put that back into that game, sure. I could see that coming back out. I absolutely want to see more Anthem.
Yeah.
That's a big game on my wish list to see. And, and I cannot wait for that game to come out. Just because I think that is one game that's going to deliver. It's a BioWare game, so I love BioWare as a developer. Even with the snafus from the Mass Effect stuff that a lot of people were bothered by, I think Anthem has a chance to be that special game for them. That Destiny game, right? That's kind of what they're shooting for in some respects. And then, Red Dead Redemption 2. We're gonna see who. So I'm pretty sure we'll see that on Sony stage because I think they have the marketing deal on that, if I'm not mistaken. So I think we will see at least some kind of trailer bit for that game. But I guess the big question is: are we going to see extended gameplay, or is it just going to be more teaser trailer, and it's going to be kind of wait and see?
There's also Beyond Good and Evil 2. We'll probably maybe see a bit more of it as well when we're at it.
Yeah.
And Rage 2 as well. This is Bethesda, which is going to see it. So there is some really good stuff.
Yeah. Rage 2 though, that's a game that nobody asked for. No, nobody was asking for Rage 2.
50% of the first one was fantastic, and then the second 50% was going backwards to the first bit. It really was good, but it was only half a game. It was brilliant, but it was only half.
Well, and then they just had that very bizarre, abrupt ending to the game. So I don't know, Nicole. Anything on your wish list that we haven't touched on here? I know you've been helping the chat out.
Not really. I mean, no, I don't have a big wish list anymore because I keep getting disappointed.
So would you be down for a Gears of War spin-off game? You know, something that's not a traditional Gears game?
Okay, here's the thing with Gears. They tried that sort of with Judgment.
Yeah.
Right.
And that game sucked gigantic troll balls. It was the worst game ever.
Okay.
I really seriously, if they're going to do it, or they would do something like it, it would have to be on par with Gears 3, Gears 4. It would have to live up to that. Because honestly, as far as I'm concerned, Judgment never happened. Because I figure if it didn't, if I pretend it didn't happen, it just didn't happen.
All right. Okay.
And anybody that asks me knows I hate that game, and I love all Gears. I just hate that game. It was a crap job. It was them trying too hard to do something and screwed it all up. So I would love another Gears game, even if it's a related story, which in this case, Gears 4 was technically a related story. Even if it's a new crew, as long as they're, a new squad, as long as they're as cool as Delta, then I'm okay with it. But they just can't do what they did with Judgment, or I'll come and shove the game up their ass.
Yeah.
Danger, Will Robinson.
I'm sorry. It's just how I feel.
I threw up on the screen there a game that was really, really special to me, which was Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yes, yeah.
Which was an exclusive.
Ori 2,
which was exclusive to Xbox, which is a fantastic game. And then you've got Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is due out this year as well. So it looks absolutely spectacular, like the first one. So
I'll play that.
Yeah, so I'll definitely be on for a bit of that. Of course, Womble, and again the stuff that's going on there. Sea of Thieves. He's a pirate. What Womble's saying there, and I see this week as well they've launched the big shark, the shark beast that you can get. So
new content update
as well. So you know what? It's a great time to be a gamer. The other stuff then this week, Greg, about E3, and you might get a bit of it at E3 as well, is the talk from the PlayStation guys about the next PlayStation, that the PlayStation 4 is coming to the end of its financial sales. Like it's at the top top of the curve at the moment, and when does that ramp up? Is that not this year?
Well, we will not hear anything this year. There will be, it was mentioned in a financial call. We talked a little bit about this last week, but it was mentioned in a financial call, kind of offhand almost, talking about the PlayStation 4 being in kind of its downward cycle. And this is it's a console cycle. They have anywhere from 5 to 7 years of hardy sales. And then, the back half, you're going to have 2 to 3 years where sales are just in a decline, but they may not be selling the hardware numbers, but they're still selling a lot of software. So that's kind of where PlayStation 4 is at. I mean, think about, the PlayStation 4 launched in 2011? No, 2013 or 14. I'm getting my years mixed up. Anyway, so, but it's coming into that, 5-6 year life cycle. So, they're starting to look forward, and, they're already working and planning out the next PlayStation, the next Xbox, even the next, Nintendo device. These companies don't rest on their laurels. When they launch a new device, they're secretly already planning the next device. So I don't think we hear anything hardware-wise. They already came out and said they weren't going to be talking hardware. So I think it's going to be a hardware quiet year. We might hear about a peripheral or two, maybe an Elite controller or two. Maybe Sony officially launches their own DualShock 4, Elite controller. But we won't hear any console news. That will come next year. That's my guess. Is next year we'll get some kind of reveal or at least tease. But for now, it's going to be software, and yeah, it's a good time to be a gamer for sure. This is when these consoles have matured to a level that the software really shines, And so you start seeing developers really getting the most out of the machines that they can. And I think we're going to be seeing that. The mid-generation iterations are probably the hiccup to all of this, right? How does that impact the life cycles of these machines? I don't know that it impacts it that as much as maybe we think it does. All right. Well, let's dive ahead into some new releases. We're getting a little long in the wind here on the show. So, Nicole.
I'm going.
Yeah, if you could just talk about the new releases that can be bought this week.
All right. So our new releases for June 2nd through 9th. Yes, because that'd be yesterday. Sorry. Yeah. Is that Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle for the Switch, PS4, and PC on June 5th?
Yep.
Also on June 5th, the Elder Scrolls Online Somerset for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Onrush for PS4, Xbox One. Really?
Yep. Shaq Fu, come on.
Okay, I know, but sometimes I never know if Robin's screwing with
No,
me.
he has not messed with this list at all. This list is genuine.
I look at stuff and I have to really go, did Robin type that? Robin, stop. So, Shaq Fu, A Legend Reborn for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Vampire for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And then beginning June 7th, Moto GP 18.
Aww.
Well, I saw him type it, so PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Also on the 7th is Flashback Remastered Edition for the Switch. And rounding us out on June 8th is Sushi Striker, The Way of Sushido.
Oh, yeah.
For the
Sushi Striker.
And 3DS. So that about does it for our upcoming games.
Yeah, I think the highlight game out of the list is Vampire. That's maybe the more high-profile game, if you will. But, the pre-E3 launch, usually you don't see a lot of big games coming out.
Nothing premature.
Yeah. Onrush, that's an interesting one. That's a cycling game. Basically, you're racing from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the mountain on BMX bike. It's an indie-esque game, if you will. And those are the two that really kind of stand out.
Yeah, it's in preview right now, actually. So
yeah.
You can go to preview it. Elder Scrolls Somerset. And Sushi Striker is very, very interesting little game. You'll check it out. So.
Yeah, I think this is, again, that window where maybe the indie games are going to be the ones that are standing out. Robin, I have to ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
Why is Aliens Colonial Marines playing on the video screen?
Oh, shit.
Why are we being subjected to that garbage?
Sorry, is that on the screen? Oh, my... Oh,
that's on the screen. Yeah. I think this was intentional,
Robin. Don't know how that happened. No idea. No,
right.
Don't know.
Right. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. All right. Look, we're gonna round things out here. Victories achieved. This is, of course, our contest to the community where we say, hey, if you beat a game, we want you to boast about it. We want you to send out a tweet to @OC_podcast on Twitter. Put in the hashtag victory achieved. Give us a nice little selfie of your face with the game in the background. And let us know the game you beat. And if you do that between, it was April 1st, all the way up through the end of this month, June 30th, you'll be entered into a contest. Every time you beat a game, you throw that out to our Twitter feed, and you'll get an entry. And we will pick one random winner at the end of June 30th. And that person will win $20 in either PSN, Xbox Live, or Steam. Or if you're across the pond and you need pounds, we will give you 15 pounds. And you can spend it as you want. It's free money, folks. So get to completing those games just like these fine folks have. You have Amras89, finished Assassin's Creed Origins. Steffi Business finished Detroit Become Human. Steffi Business also finished KOTOR on backwards compatibility, I believe. PG Tips 77 finished God of War. Ginger Balls and Mrs. Ginger finished Late Shift, a little duet there. By the way, Late Shift, great game. If you haven't played it, check it out. And finally, Denocti Q finished Fragments of Him. Not familiar with that game, I freely admit, but nonetheless, finished it out. And for beating these games, you not only get an entry into our Victory Achieved contest, but you also get this snazzy sound effect.
Yeah.
Or
sorry,
not.
I was distracted. Yes, definitely. Sorry.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You all have a victory's achieved. Victory's achieved. Victory's achieved.
Did it happen?
It did, yes. Can we have some moderation going on here, please, in the chat, if you don't mind? If you don't mind, yes. Some nasty people in the chat. Wise up, will you? It's not very nice.
Yep.
Okay, so let's start to get this thing wrapped up, will you? Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Yes. I think we should wrap things up. Look, if you want to be part of the conversation, we are broadcasting every Sunday at 1 p.m. on the West Coast, 4 p.m. on the East Coast, 6 p.m. over on Easter Island, and, of course, 9 p.m. in the UK. You can catch us on twitch.tv/OC Podcast, mixer.com/OC Podcast, and youtube.com/Overseas Connection Podcast. That is where we are when we are live. If you are going to catch us on a video review, I should say audio review, not video review, but we're on iTunes, we're on Stitcher, pretty much any place you can download a podcast, you'll be able to find us. So download it, give us reviews. That always helps us be found by others. So it is definitely welcome. And, of course, be nice when you're in the chat. We want to be a fun, happy place for people to talk about video games and enjoy their time. So remember, be kind. But if you also want to hear from us, you should listen to this audio clip right about now, Robin.
Yeah. If you do indeed, if you want to listen to us, you can listen to us, because it's absolutely fantastic listening to us. Because if you want to contact us, this is all the nice things you can listen to and hear.
You like us, we like you. See where I'm going with this? Follow us on Twitter at OC_podcast. Check us out on Facebook, fb.ocpod.com, or email us, podcast@ocpod.com. We'd love to hear from you.
And there we go. That's a nice way to do things. Thank you, Nicole. Bleh. That's your sound effect at the end.
I'm not sure we needed that, but okay. All right. So that's pretty much the show, folks. Why don't we pass it around real quick? Robin, why don't you start us up?
Yeah, to the assholes in the chat, stop being assholes, okay?
I banned 2 of them.
Thank you very much. Yeah, this is a nice, friendly community, so enough of that. Thank you very much. We muddled through. Sorry you didn't hear me at the beginning, but listen out to the audio version. There's going to be some very, very magical editing going on. Yeah, that should be fun. And yeah, please just check me out. I'm Robin Tate. I'm at Bongo the Sane. Go to bongosbits.com. Tune into the Guitar Zero guy who's learning to play the guitar every Tuesday evening and Wednesday evening with my wonderful wife on our Facebook. Go to Robin Tate and you'll see what we're doing there as far as losing a few pounds and getting fit for holidays. Greg, thank you very much for being in your prison uniform tonight. It makes me feel really, really good in the orange jumpsuit. And I hope all the people that are being in the chat tonight, as Kim would always say, we do this for you guys. Yes, we do. We do it for you. If it wasn't for you, we'd be talking to ourselves. We'd be talking to ourselves anyway. So, yeah, everybody enjoy your gaming week. And Nicole.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. You can find me at OC_Amaryllis on Twitter, Amaryllis on the PlayStation 4, and Amaranth on the Xbox. I would like to shout out you gentlemen. Always a pleasure. Thank you for suffering through my we'll say, quick quiz because my dumbass lost the other one.
It was good. It was good.
Well, I like doing the quizzes. I'm liking this format now. So thank you for enjoying that with us. Thank you to our chatters. Also, because, without that, we wouldn't be here. And a special shout out to Nick. Love you, bud. And I will see you on for some State of Decay 2 here in a little bit.
Woohoo.
So, Greg, close us off.
All right. Well, again, thank you to the both of you for making the show. Unlike the other hosts of this podcast, you two dedicated. Just saying. And Robin, well done on getting the show off the ground on time, and with no major snafus, minus your voice being missing for a while. But hey, you had to make the show better somehow, right?
Yep. Interesting.
You're welcome. All right. Again, shout out to the people listening to the podcast, whether you're listening to us live and or on audio, iTunes. We do appreciate the follows, the likes, the good reviews, and just remember, be nice, people. It's not a hard thing to do. Just be nice. That's all we ask. All right. That's pretty much it. I'm going to round this out. We're going to get us off because we've gone long. So, that being said, Robin, fire up that funky music.
Thank you for listening to the Overseas Connection podcast. See you same time next week.